Oh, that was sad. Ooh, that was better. Oh, right, that one. Oh, that was cute. Oh, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a 4 bourbon showdown, and all of these we purchased for $50 or less. They are all older than 10 years aged. They are all under 100 proof, and of course they're all bourbon. And I've got a little handy dandy note here. I can tell you exactly what we paid for each one of these. The Eagle Rare, by the way, that one has been on our shelf for a while. We bought that ages ago.
Yeah, I feel like I was surprised when it was on the table. I was like, "Oh, you found that today?" You're like, "Ugh, that's the one from the shelf."
Dug this out of the back, and we paid $32 for it. But I checked current ongoing price for it here in Oregon when you can find it, which is rare, $45.
Oh,
so
yeah.
a lot has changed. But that's not the only one that's gone up in price, because we also purchased today Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve 10-year. That is the 90 proofer. That is right now $39.95 in Oregon, and that's on sale. The last bottle we bought of that was a couple years ago. It was $35, and that was on sale.
Yeah.
So things are definitely changing price-wise. But the 2 bottles that we've never owned before are the ones that I was excited to pick up today. Bulleit Bourbon 10-year, $44.95. And Tin Cup Whiskey, Mountain Whiskey they call it, and that one is also 10-year, of course. That's $49.95. So the most expensive bottle here is the Tin Cup, and the one that's hardest to find, Eagle Rare, obviously. But yeah, 2 bottles we've never owned before. This is a blind tasting. We don't know what order they're in. Let's get on to the nose here, see what we find.
Really sweet.
Yeah. There's a touch of oak there, but very sweet, almost artificial grape sweet.
Yeah, I was thinking there's a nice cherry presence, but it's almost like a sweet watermelon flavor on the nose.
Something weird on the nose there that is an artificial type of note for fruit.
Nutty on this one.
Yeah, a little bit, but butterscotchy, peanut brittly.
It got
nice
a little honey,
oak.
like a honey roasted nuts for me. So it's not just nuts, but it's kind of like a sweeter side of that.
Yeah, I actually don't get a ton of nuts on there. There's a little bit for sure, but there's a butterscotchy there that I really like. That's a big pour. Maybe that's got something to do with it.
I didn't get out the measuring spoon today.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I love the balance on this one. Sweetness, spice, sweet oak, brown sugar, dark brown sugar.
For me, it's a slightly muted, but I do get a really nice oak on this one. You're definitely getting more flavors on this one than me. Kind of a sweet and spicy nose on this one.
Yeah, the unusual thing there is the dry wood note, the sort of your basement paneling. I talk about that note sometimes.
Yeah.
Certainly that's there. That's that Midwest basement paneling on the nose. All right, again, these are blind, and we will have all the information at the bottom of the screen so you can follow along with what we're drinking down there. Let's get on with it. Glass number 1, which side do you want to start with?
On the right, please.
Okay, the super good glass. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Delicious. Just tastes like bourbon. Nice and balanced sweetness with the oak. It's not inherently exciting in flavors, but the flavors that are there are just pure bourbon flavor. It just tastes delicious to me.
I feel like this is what you expect
Yeah.
from a 10-year aged whiskey that's sub 100 proof. It is very sweet, exceedingly sweet. The grape shows up here, almost artificial, but there's a black cherry note too, and the oak is nice. For as sweet as it is, I didn't expect to find spice, but there is a nice little spicy surprise there. I like that.
I really do like this. There is something, if I'm being nitpicky,
Sure.
there's something just on the finish that it just feels a little off. Like the flavor just goes a different direction that I'm not particularly enjoying with the palate, but I think the flavors are really solid and anybody would like this one.
Yeah, this one would be impossible not to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that you're right, what you're talking about there. I think on the finish, it goes just a little bit, I don't want to say bitter, but there's something weird about the oak. That
it's
takes
light.
Well, because it's such a sweet sip, and all of a sudden it's not sweet at all.
Yeah.
Nice way to start off our flight right there. Very good. We're going to cleanse our palates, move on to glass 2. My favorite nose was glass 3, but glass 2 had the nose that made me most curious.
Gotcha.
So very close to glass number 3 in terms of which glass I really wanted to get into, and thank goodness there's a whole lot of it in this glass. So
This glass, for whatever reason, smells like a ballpark to me. Like the
got
smells,
those
the
peanut
smells that you
shells?
would get, yeah, like at a ballpark. I'm curious what you're gonna say. I
Well-
always just jump in.
I have to say, I sat with that for a while. I think that your ballpark concept is pretty good. It's buttery, almost to a popcorn, and it's got a little bit of butterscotch to go along with it. There are some peanut shells in there, some of that dry roasted peanut shell, but there's an odd finish to it that's almost floral. Maybe it's a Field of Dreams type of thing. I didn't expect any of these to have any crafty notes, but that's a real crafty note on the tail end of that.
Feels a little confusing to me because I actually did not get anything for like the first part of the palate, like that first part of the sip, and then like 3/4 of the way through, then the flavors came. So you're almost like missing the flavors on the first part of the sip, and then things come rushing in at the end.
I don't disagree with that. It's way more subtle than I thought it was going to be. I am getting a lot of flavor, but you're right. It doesn't show up right away. It takes a second to hit your palate and do the things.
This one is a little bit mellow.
Well, it's kind of what we're expecting here. We've got 10-year
Yeah.
aged bourbons. They've
Low
had
proof.
plenty of time to mellow out in the casks. Low proof. I think the thread here will be, hey, we're going on a camping weekend. We want to share a bottle with something that's a little, just a touch elevated. And I think
Yeah.
if it's aged for 10 years, I think we could all agree as bourbon drinkers, that's elevated. And so we're not looking for something to punch us in the face. It's going to be easy drinking. It's
Yeah.
going to be tasty. And if it's flavorful, great. But I think that this glass too, subtle in a lot of the right ways. It's hitting my palate, I think, better than yours, but I am enjoying it.
Almost simultaneously, as you said, like it'll be a good camping whiskey. That's exactly what I thought, because I think there's something about bringing in some like outside sensory notes that would be really good for this too. Like, and just to add to the experience.
Yeah, a little smoke off the campfire.
Sure.
Yeah. I did have just a small third sip of that.
Yeah.
Butterscotch is definitely nice on that one. And there's the bitterness that runs throughout. It's not, I wouldn't even call it bitterness. I would just say it's just a tempering that keeps that sweetness from getting out of control. It's a nicely balanced whiskey. And again, it takes a minute to get there.
Yeah.
But that's nice. I like glass 2. That was better the more we had of it. On to glass number 3. Here we go.
Maybe just projecting. Now this one smells a little bit nutty.
It does have a touch of nuttiness to it. When you said glass number 1 smelled like bourbon, tasted like bourbon,
Yeah.
I think glass number 3, that smells like bourbon to me. I'm excited
Yeah.
to get in here.
It does. See, here I go jumping in. It does have a little bit of a honey roasted peanuts flavor to it, but it's not overwhelming. And so for somebody who, like me, who's not, I'm not a huge fan of that flavor profile, this actually I think is delightful.
Sweet and spicy in perfect balance. That brown sugar note is great. The cinnamon note is great. The cherry here is vibrant. So yeah, this isn't a punch you in the face whiskey, but here's a bunch of flavor notes that you can't ignore. That I love. And I could sit with this for a good long time because the spice is still
Yeah.
there. The oak, the rich oak is still there. Wow, whatever this is standing out so far.
This one has layers. Like I got honey roasted peanuts on the first one, and then cinnamon nuts that you can sometimes get during the holidays,
now
and
you're
then
talking.
that cherry came through. The flavors feel really balanced. Sometimes I feel like they can get off balance when you're throwing like that nutty flavor around.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying this
I think
one.
this is great. Yeah, second sip, I'm ready.
There's something almost like caramely on the finish that's like a caramely oak, which sounds kind of weird.
I
but
think you're talking about the barrel char.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Yeah.
decadence that comes from this one, and it feels like I said that on the nose that there's a lot of char on that. There absolutely is. That's exactly what I'm getting on the palate here. Is what I was hoping for from the nose. So while I liked that nose the most, the palate it's coming through just as I hoped it would. So that's a whiskey that tells you the truth from the start.
I like this
Yeah.
one. I'm smiling now. I like this one.
Look at you. You weren't having a good time. Now you are.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That whiskey, of all 3 that we've had so far, I would say is the most satisfying. And again, we'll go back the other way and bounce around here in A/B test. But man, so far that is a great bourbon.
I do think that on this glass number 3, the flavors feel a little bit more developed.
That's special. Whatever
Yeah.
that is special.
I like it.
Great stuff. 1 glass left. Let's cleanse our palates and we'll get on to it.
This one has a little buttery nose to it now too.
Totally agree.
Subtle cherry was the first note that I got on this one.
Yeah, it's there's a nondescript spice happening here, and a heavy floral note. I did not expect that. I do believe that 2 of these are MGP, and I think one of them is aged in Kentucky and the other one is aged in Colorado, of all places. This is another nice whiskey. I want to say right now that all 4 of these are, hey, I'm spending a weekend, a boys' weekend in Colorado coming up soon. I would bring all 4 of these to share with the boys. I would bring these to a camp weekend. I would say all 4 of these are satisfying enough and enjoyable. Pair them with a beer, share them with friends, whatever you're going to do.
On this glass, definitely getting some slight oak, some cherry note there. The flavors are pretty quiet.
Yeah, there's a nondescript quality to this one where I think that I wouldn't call it muddy, but I would say it nothing's sticking out. Right. And maybe that's a nice quality for a lot of people with a 10-year bourbon.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you're going on a road trip. This does feel like another one of those bottles. If you're in a group and you're chatting and you're all excited, you're not necessarily paying attention that much to what you're drinking.
Yeah,
right?
I want to focus on hearing the crazy stories from the people I haven't seen in a long time.
I feel like this fits the bill. Like, it's really enjoyable. You don't need to pay attention to it. Like, you can just enjoy the drink and have a great conversation. And it's not one of those thought-provoking type bourbons.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with your cherry note here. On my second sip, it's a real cherry bomb.
There's some spice there, though.
There's some spice, yeah. Almost like a ginger spice. And then it finishes on the oak, which I think... Earlier, I think glass 1, you said it takes a left turn. It takes a hard turn on the finish.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. So while a couple of these, the bitterness from that oak seems to be running alongside all those other flavors, helping to balance it.
Yeah.
On a couple of these, the oak shows up at the end and sort of takes away all the sweetness. So it's approaching in different directions. Really odd tasting note on that. I don't think I've ever tasted 4 whiskeys that performed that way. Unusual. Well, we have to cleanse our palate, go back the other way, an A/B test, and we're not going to show you all that, or this would be a really long video, but we'll be back shortly with our decision. All right, you have a decision?
I do.
I also have a decision, and it's time to push these things forward. Let's start with, what do you want to do, 4th place first?
Sure, let's do that.
4th place on the count of 1, 2, 3. Okay. Same one. And you want to find out what it is? Let's find out what it is.
Yeah, let's find out what it is. Bulleit 10-year, and I actually like Bulleit.
Yeah, their cask strength single barrels are something that we really enjoy when we find them, but we don't own a lot of it. I don't really know what their flavor profile is. I do like their 95.5 rye from time to time when I'm at a bar, but that one, if I'm honest, that felt pretty far off for me. The bitter twist at the end there was not super pleasant. Again, any one of these would be just fine. We're nitpicking here. But that one didn't quite hold a candle to the other 3. Let's get into our 3rd place, and then we'll start finding out what the rest of these things are. On the count of 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're out of order here.
Yep.
For me, 3rd place was glass 1. For you, it was glass 2.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I'm going to do the little boop, boop.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be out of order here. So this is 4th. This is my 3rd. That's your 3rd.
Yep.
Should we just do the order here, and then we'll say what we each had?
Sure.
Push your 1st place forward on the count of 1, 2, 3. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think we're totally aligned on that.
The Julie
one.
Pour glass, that's our big winner right there. So we just switched 2 and 3. I don't think that's a big deal.
Yep.
Let's find out what they were. Let's go with, let's just start from the right to left here. Our right to left. Super Good is 3rd place for me, 2nd place for you. What do you got there?
All right, in the Super Good glass, we have the Eagle Rare 10-year.
Okay, Eagle Rare 10-year. That was 3rd for me, 2nd for you. What is in the Do Not Disturb glass? This was 2nd for me, 3rd for you.
Tin Cup 10-year.
Okay, the mountain whiskey.
The mountain whiskey.
Cut with Rocky Mountain water. They like to talk about that. Okay, so we just switched 2 and 3 there. Interesting. That means 1st place is our Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve 10-year.
I forgot that was even in the list, so I am pumped because I have, from the very beginning of my whiskey journey, have loved Russell's 10.
Yes.
And I always tell people, if you don't know what you want to get, just get a Russell's 10. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. And it came at number 1 for me. I'm glad that I didn't remember that it was in this lineup, and I'm glad that it came on top.
It's absolutely delightful whiskey. We've put that up against Eagle Rare in the past, and it kind of slapped it around the last time we did that a couple years ago. So I'm not super surprised by the result. I am surprised that Tin Cup beat Eagle Rare for me. Again, subtle whiskey, but I liked the balance of the flavors. I thought the way that it coated, honestly, kind of won this challenge for me between the rest of them. Wild Turkey, though, that Russell's Reserve stood on its head and kind of dominated the competition as far as I'm concerned.
This lineup is really a palate preference because I chose Eagle Rare 10-year as my number 2 because the flavors were more exciting. They were top of mind. They really came forward. I didn't have to dig for them.
They were tuned to your palate.
They were tuned to my palate, and that's why Eagle Rare came in second for me. But I was surprised by the Tin Cup.
There you go. That's our 10-year bourbon, under $50, sub 100 proof flight. We hope that you had a great time. Let us know, of these 4, what is your favorite? Do you have any thoughts on the rest of them? Put it all in the comments. We can't wait to hear all about it from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's the cheapest, most readily available. That's the winner.
Buy it.
Yeah.
Our new barrel pick is available now. Still Austin Cast Strength Rye Whiskey, selected by me. Get yours now at the link below.